So I'm here doing my little loop. I have this island behind me. I like to paddle around it. It works out for a great time, and then stay close to the island, and then no houses on it, so I get to feel like I'm more in nature. Of course, when I was paddling the length down the island, it was into the wind the entire time, pretty strong breeze, and then when I rounded the corner of the island, thought I was going to be blown back home. Well, guess what? Wind died. So the joy of the outdoors. So anyway, wanted to talk a little bit more about the 5 animals Qigong, specifically the deer. So the deer is a series of 5 movements that focuses on the urinary bladder meridian, otherwise known as the great yang of the foot, and the kidney meridian, otherwise known as the lesser yin of the foot. And it is focusing on the hamstrings and the calves and the adductors and the glutes and the rhomboids and the lats. So all of these muscles are tremendously important for your structure. The adductors are probably the most important muscle group to pay attention to when doing Qigong and Tai Chi. At least that's the gentleman who taught me. That was his big, that was the big point, the centerpiece for him. And after 20 years doing it, I haven't ever seen any evidence to the contrary, so I'm going with what he told me because it has stood the test of my time, at least. Anyway, so the water is represented by the deer for our 5 animals, and the seasons of the year, it is the winter, and the stage of life, it is the end of life. So it is basically when you are super old and aren't really doing too much other than little things to keep yourself occupied and enjoyed and plugged in life, and dispensing some sage wisdom from time to time. But the big productivity of the earth and the shaping of the world around you, of the metal, and the craziness of the fire, those times are gone. And of course, wood is youth and right before basically birth until puberty. So what is that for? Who knows? I have a child who's in that stage right now, and maybe I'll have more insight, after raising one, but at this point, I don't know. Wood is wood is wood. So anyway, but for the water element in Eastern medicine is associated with the kidney, and the kidney is not your renal organ. It's involved with your renal organs, but when we say kidney, we're using just a shorthand to mean the lesser yin of the foot. It is the yin aspect of the water pair, and because it's the yin, it's where things reside. Yang is very much the expression of things. Yin would be the abode of things, so where everything in your body kind of is rooted. So we can talk mostly about the lesser yin of the foot, or the kidney, when speaking about what the water does. So the emotion that is we suffer with when we have deficiency in our kidney is fear. And if you think about being really old, you're no longer able to do physically or even mentally what you used to be able to do. So that would be a state of insecurity, and insecurity is probably the best way to get fear. And then it is also, when it is working correctly, it is the seat of the will. So somebody with a very strong will has a very healthy water aspect of their body, or we would just say kidney specifically. And if the kidney is deficient, it can be a lack of will. A lack of will, of course, can lead to fear. And then for posterior muscle chain, how many people have a bad back or a bad neck, or, painful back, painful neck? So working this with the deer movement is absolutely critical, but it is not enough on its own, because you need to have all of the rest of the body working to support. So when we work with the deer to benefit the posterior muscle chain, the adductors, the kidneys, the bladder, from their Eastern medicine aspect, we need to work on other things too. So we need to get a little bit of the earth, because the earth is what is going to keep the kidneys in line. It is what's called the controller, or the grandmother of the water. And if you were to draw a pentagon and make a star inside of it. The pentagon on the outside, that's the generating cycle. So metal would generate water, and then the one just before, or part of the star, would be the controlling cycle. So that would be Earth. And so with Earth, we have in the 5 animals Qigong, it is the bear, and the bear uses a lot of isometrics. So when using your deer, when you're using your Qigong and your Tai Chi to activate your posterior muscle chain, be sure and do some focused isometrics on your calves, your hamstrings, your glutes, and your rhomboids and your lats. That is absolutely critical to get a good 6 to 10 second, as hard as you can, contraction in those each individual muscle groups, one at a time, and make sure you keep breathing while doing isometrics. Do not hold your breath. Then do the Qigong or the Tai Chi as a way of fleshing the muscle out, but you're also strengthening the muscle. And so by making your glutes stronger, you're going to help your back pain. And by making your rhomboids and your lats stronger, you will be helping your neck pain. So strengthen with the isometrics as a way of controlling that Qigong to keep it within the beneficial zone. In this case, the beneficial zone is one where the muscles are actually stronger. So just doing the Qigong by itself without strengthening the muscles will be a very limited amount of pain control. So the wind has finally picked up, and I can use it to cheat on the way back home. So anyway, I hope you all have an absolutely lovely day, and thanks for watching. Take care.